Hey everyone, it's Brian here from Massey's Main Entertainment. And Doc and I are kind of back doing our own little series. We're going to call this one Brian and Doc's Top 10 Album Series. In this exciting new series, we're going to take you on a journey through musical history as we share our top 10 favorite albums from random years spanning from 1965 to the present year. Each video will spotlight one of our curated lists, but don't worry, you'll get to hear both of our perspectives about each person's list and have some lively discussion, hopefully. Whether you're a diehard music fan or just looking to discover some timeless classics, this series is for you. We're kicking off this series this week with a deep dive into 1971, really a pivotal year in music history, a year that saw like releases some legendary albums that kind of left an indelible mark on the music world in various genres. So 1971 is, like I said, a year of that innovation and genre-defining moments. You'll hear our thoughts about these iconic albums and many more as we explore 1971 as such a standout year. So don't forget to like, sub, and comment down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts and see your top 10 albums for 71 or any other year that we cover going forward. Your participation helps the series even better. So share your favorites and join the conversation, and let's celebrate this power of music. So, Doc, I really appreciate the fact that you were willing to do this series. And
Sure.
did you find it a challenge or just more of a fun exercise?
Uh, Basically a combination, if you want the truth. You're going to leave. Like we're starting off in 1971. Great intro to what's going on here because this is the early 70s in music, right? There's a lot going on in music. Reminiscence of the 60s is kicking in. You start to get into some heavier music showing up. Progressive is starting to make an appearance a little bit more prominent, and glam rock is coming in. And so there's a whole bunch of different things happening in music. And it's pulling the ears of the people listening to it at that time in a whole bunch of different directions. So it's an awesome time if you were like at the right age, and if you're watching this, and you might have been. So good for you, man. You hit the nail on the head if you're 1971 and a teenager or something like that. So yeah, but there's tons of albums, tons that you're gonna go on, and it's a personal preference. Some you're gonna like, some you're not gonna like. We're all gonna have that. I guarantee there's gonna be stuff on my list that people do not like. But the good news is there's probably stuff on their list I don't like either. So that's just the way music is, man. So
Right.
It's all personal, but I think 71 is a pretty solid one to start off with. So I think we'll name off some good albums here.
Perfect. All right. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the albums you choose are and what order you actually put them in, and see how much we match up on these. It'd be kind of interesting to see. So go ahead, jump right in, and we'll comment a little bit as we go. I think that's
See how it cooks, right?
Yeah,
that sounds good. So my number 10 for 71, I'm going to go right to LA Woman by the Doors.
Nice.
This is I'm not a Doors guy in a lot of senses, right? I can pick, cherry pick some songs off. Their debut is good, and the Doors are a sound that you either like or don't like. I like it more as I got older, is what I will say. So, and it's more of an in-your-face kind of style or something like that from the Doors than previously, in some senses. But Riders on the Storm or the title track or Love Her Madly. It's got a lot of good songs on it, and I just find this to be, this and their debut are probably the two best for me. So for the Doors, but it's 1971 at the Doors. I don't think it's bad to be in my top 10, to be honest with you. So
Nice.
that's where I'm going to put it.
I like the choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. It's going to lead me, I guess, right to number 9. Number 9 is a little different. One of those age things I think that happens with me, right? So I got Badfinger straight up at number 9. This is almost a softer rock kind of thing, but a Beatlesque vibe from Badfinger. I just find their hooks, and it's really catchy tunes on this album, man. And it's a really solid album. It's a shame what happened to the band later on, but straight up, I think is this is an easy listen almost all the way through. Baby Blue. There's loads. Day After Day obviously is the big song off this album, but you can see the fingerprints of Harrison being on this and Todd Rundgren coming in and finishing off. You know, say what you want about Todd Rundgren's music, he's a pretty good producer, man. So I think Straight Up is once again, it's a placement thing in some of these things, but I had no problem dropping this in my top 10 either for 71. So
Yeah, that one surprises me is that people just never mention this band whenever they're talking about classic rock, or even if like you listen to classic rock radio stations, what are the odds that you hear a Badfinger song?
pretty much zero.
Almost zero. It's
Zero.
weird. It's very weird.
And they got good music, man, and good
Yeah,
tunes. So it's sometimes the bands or whatever else get pigeonholed and they don't make the appearance maybe they thought they should have or they should make. So
right.
but yeah, I'm gonna give them some love, I guess, in that sense. So they're my number 9.
Good job.
Thank you. The number 8. Remember, it's all personal, okay? So don't shoot the messenger. But I got Marvin Gaye's "What's Going On" here at number 8. So
Yes.
a lot of people out there have this as maybe their best album ever. So
Yeah.
for me, it's number 8 in 1971. So I'll give you an idea. But it's an awesome album. It's an awesome album, man. Like we talk about sometimes with our other videos that we do, Brian, movies and stuff like this. Music's also a mood. And if you're in the mood for this kind of music, we'll say, this is what you put on first. You probably put this one on first and then just go for that. That's what you're going to listen to that day. This would be the one you start with. What's going on? It's listen, there's nothing wrong with listening to Marvin Gaye. He's got a great voice and everything else. And he's got some powerful tracks here. This concept album is really, it's political, it's social, it has a lot of undertones, but the music itself is really, really good. So there's a reason why this is ranked very high on a lot of different charts out there on where this is in the overall scheme of things. But What's Going On is, like I said, it's a mood thing for me. But if I'm in the mood, this is probably where I'd go for this kind of music, where it's just a little softer and easier listening, that type of stuff. That's my number 8.
Great.
Number 7. This probably doesn't shock you, Brian, because you already know me anyway. So, but it's Alice Cooper's "Killer." So,
yeah, that's not a surprise.
No, Alice Cooper in the 70s, I don't think gets enough love, or it doesn't get enough love. Probably doesn't get talked about enough. But this is a real rock album, man. Ellen Flies, Desperado, Under My Wheels, Be My Lover. This is a killer album.
Yeah,
if you want the truth. So,
absolutely.
Words, but I don't think Cooper gets looked at as a writer or a musician or anything along those lines. Probably the way that I think he should, because I think he's pumped out in the 70s. Really is where my sweet spot is. But $1 billion, that type of stuff. But $1 billion, to get that right. But this album is just a straight rock album, and I'm a rock guy, so this fits in my wheelhouse. One of my omissions for this year is the rock album in one sense, but got to be in the mood for it. So sometimes I just find I'm not in the mood that I used to be in for those things. So I got Cooper here at number 7. Big surprise, Brian, or no?
Did not surprise me at all. And I'll
No.
tell you this: I saw Alice Cooper open up for Motley Crue in the tour a couple of years back. He absolutely blew Motley Crue off stage. He's a great performer. He is a great performer.
Totally.
Yeah, great
That's
sets.
part of his gig, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was great. Engages the crowd. It's really nice.
So that's going to lead me to my number 6. Number 6, I've got Elton John's "Madman Across the Water." Like I said, placement is some of these things, right? So, once again, this is Elton in the 70s, man. And there's some dominant names from the 70s that have longevity for the whole decade or longer, even starting in the 60s. And Elton is kind of one of those guys. This is a fantastic album. This is Elton, Bernie doing their thing. With Tiny Dancer and the title track. And obviously, Leave On is a real top tier Elton John song for me. It's nonsense. Great flow in this music. Musically, it's awesome, right? So, yeah. When they do that, when they have those combinations of Bernie's lyrics and Elton jumping in with his music, man, this is what you get. This is top tier Elton John kind of stuff. Maybe his best. So,
yeah,
that's my number 6. Number 5 is going to lead me to Bowie's Hunky Dory.
I was wondering.
Yeah. No, because like Bowie is a chameleon, right? Bowie is like the music chameleon in one sense. You know, he can do whatever. Now we're in the glam rock stage, and you know, he just did Ziggy and does all this other stuff. You know, he can. Now he's more piano driven. Now he's more softer and laid back with Hunky Dory, but lyrically, he's always been fantastic. You know, and I think just shows what an artist this guy really is, man. Because you want to talk about spectrums that this guy's can cover. This, I don't know if anybody's got a bigger spectrum than Bowie. If you want the truth, not like this, not the way through. People change maybe after 10 years of doing a run and they switch and get with the times. Bowie was ahead of the times. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's outside everything else. It's got my favorite Bowie song on it. So Life on Mars, I think it's a masterpiece. So, and Changes is obviously a classic as well. But Hunky Dory is a fantastic album, man. So number 5. Number 4 is going to go the Stones, Sticky Fingers, man. Yeah, what do you say about the Stones? Or this album, to be honest with you. This album's a kick album, man. You know, Dead Flowers, you know, Can Hear Me Knocking, Brown Sugar. We talk about the Stones every once in a while, Brian, when we have some of our other videos and stuff. And it's like, you know, these guys just have a collage of hits that they just put out. And it's a run of, you know, you can play Stone songs for like 24 hours and know all of them. So it's their, that's their gamut. They're a rock band, a bluesy rock band in the beginning, and you know, pretty much they kind of stuck with their formulas throughout the whole time. But Sticky Fingers is a top tier kind of classic albums all time kind of thing too, man. So placement might be one thing. Personal taste is going to dictate on where some of the stuff lands. So I guess that'll lead me to my number 3, I guess, right? So
yeah.
If the album has Echoes on it, or Fearless, or One of These Days, I got no choice except to put Meddle in here, man, for Pink Floyd. 70s Pink Floyd is maybe the best music ever to me. There's Wish You, we got this, you got Dark Side, you got The Wall, you got Animals, you got the, I don't know if there's anything else like that in the 70s that can do that in one sense, but you know, you really get the psychedelic vibe here but a little bit more of grittiness in some senses to some of the songs from Floyd. And you see that as it transpires throughout, and they show that edge as their music goes along too. You know, I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm a big Floyd guy, especially at this time. You know, we can talk about other albums later if we get to those years, but because they'll probably be on my list.
Yeah, this one's no surprise to me. I wondered. I said if there's a year, every year that we do, I would like if there's a year that Pink Floyd has an album, Doc's probably going to have a Pink Floyd choice in there. But so got him high though.
Very high. Yeah, very high. That's that personal side of it, right? This is just a list. This is Sean's personal list, right? That's what it is.
Yeah.
So then it comes down to the dogfight, I guess, in the end for me here. So I got Zeppelin 4 at number 2. You're splitting hairs between my 1 and 2 in a lot of senses.
Yeah.
You got Black Dog, you got Stairway, When the Levee Breaks, Misty Mountain. You got a whole bunch of iconic Led Zeppelin tunes on this one album in 1971. And Zeppelin's giving you the new vibe, right? Zeppelin's 1971. This is heavy. This is heavy rock. And I said one omission from my list here is Black Sabbath. That's really heavy too, and stuff like this. But you get the idea, you know, who these guys are, where music might go. I'm going to tell you, man, this is classic Led Zeppelin on one album, and there's not a miss really on this. There's no skip here. This is Zeppelin 4, man. This is, like I said, top tier stuff. Makes it difficult for me not to have it at number 1, but the only reason why it's not number 1 is because Who's Next is number 1. And like I said, these are all personal lists and stuff like this. This is my second favorite album of all time. So, yeah, it's going to win the year. openers and closers. You know, Bob or O'Reilly won't get fooled again. That's the best of the best, I think, on any album.
Maybe the two best bookend songs ever.
Ever. Yeah. I don't think it gets better than that. My personal taste, it doesn't get better than that. You know, everyone's going to have their own take, but whatever the case, you know, you can throw Behind Blue Eyes or Going Mobile or Bargain or Getting Into It or whatever you want, man. This is, once again, it's not a miss album. And this is the straight at you, coming at you, real rock and roll that I really like, to be honest with you. So, like I said, I consider it the second best album of all time. So I got Who's Next at number one.
Yeah, I mean, I almost could pencil this in for you immediately when you said 1971. I know that we chose this in our 70s album tournament. I believe it was the overall winner, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, going by memory a little bit. And I'm looking at this and I'm going, the only reason Led Zeppelin is getting a silver medal is because they're up against the Who.
Yeah.
And I think in our tournament, even they ran into each other in the final. It was the Elite Eight.
Yeah,
they ran into each other, and one of them had to go. Which, you know, that's hard. It's hard to do, but it's just the way it all kind of, you know, fell together.
The way it plays out. What are you going to do, right? So it's
there's nothing you can do. Everybody got to vote, and it just kind of came out that way. It's a tremendous album. You know, I won't lie and say that I love everything by the Who. There are albums of theirs that I definitely don't care for. I'm definitely not a rock opera kind of guy. But this album it's a masterpiece of rock and roll, and you know, just the drums by Keith Moon in it. It's just, you know, if you had to demonstrate to somebody what a true rock album is, you got to start with this one, I would think.
Yeah, and this is on the list, man. This is on the short list for sure. Yeah.
So, nice list, Doc. I really like it. Very eclectic, you know, kind of moving around a little bit on various types of subgenres of rock and roll and everything.
Yep.
If there was one that I thought maybe a little bit of a surprise that I knew you would have it ranked if you had a top 20, but Elton John you had pretty high. So
I'm an Elton guy, the 70s, man. That's too. So, like I said, mood driven, right? So all depends. You go from Elton to Marvin Gaye to the Who to the whatever Zeppelin, all in one list. That's not bad.
Well, thanks for doing your list. We're gonna obviously I'm gonna be doing another video with my list in it. Everybody, please like, sub, and comment for Doc's video here. Give us your opinions about Doc's list and the rankings. Give us your top 10. Please like, sub, and comment down below. We really appreciate you guys joining us for this, and look forward to continuing this series as we go forward. Until next time, take care.
Peace out, all.